You're tuned in to Eastside Certified. DJ MH to the brand new banger. Exclusive hot. Bury those cockroaches.
I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride the beat, and I ride it well. I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride the beat, and I ride it well. I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride the beat, and I ride it well. I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride the beat.
Yo, what's good, people? It's the Pride of the Eastside, DJ MH Tutter. Welcome back to Eastside Certified, and today we have a legendary guest, and I don't use the word legendary lightly, right? This guy, he is a pioneer. He is an innovator. He is the legend of all legends.
Thank you.
I wouldn't know juke music if it wasn't for him, because that's how I got introduced to juke music.
Wow.
Through this guy and his tapes. He's done a lot of pioneering work outside of the juke world too, as far as DJ crews in Chicago and helping different artists and DJs alike. The accolades speak for itself. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But DJ Sluggo is on Eastside Certified today. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Blessed and highly favored, man. You know,
hear that.
I usually say I'm staying out the way, but I'm in the way now. You know, I'm just blessed and highly favored. God is good. God is good, bro.
Facts.
Like,
I appreciate you for coming through, man.
anything for you, bro. Like, you one of the good ones.
I appreciate
Like,
that.
Anybody else would come, I'm like, well, you know. But y'all, you've always been, except from the day I met you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
we've been locked
yeah,
in
it's
for
a
a
good
long
dude.
time.
And I'm like, once I met you, we talked. I was like, that's a good dude. You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate
And,
that.
and you don't find in the city that we in, you don't find real, you know, a lot of great people or good people.
So, Sluggo, I like to get to the beginning of everybody's journey. So, how did you get into DJing and juke music?
Well, DJing was what I started with first. I had a cousin. We both grew up in the Robert Taylor homes, and him and his little crew were doing like all the little parties and stuff down there. So I was kind of fascinated with the fact that they were just spinning records and everybody wanted to be around them. And when they brought the music out, everybody came from every building and walks of life. And I'm like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So I asked him one day, like, hey, you should teach me that. You know what I'm saying? You should teach me how to do that. Mm-hmm. He was like, I'll teach you, I'll show you. I'm like, all right, cool. So he showed me. I took a liking to it. I was already interested in music, because it's based in my family. But when the DJing thing just was a whole nother thing for me, and one of my buddies, may rest in peace, gave me my first pair of 12s. He gave them to me, and I was like, yeah, this meant for me, this is, because it was just so many opportunities coming my way. Then that same cousin, him and his crew, they were DJing in the playground one day, and it was like a picnic, and I was like, man, when I say, I don't know if you ever been to a picnic in the projects.
For sure, my family from the Ickies.
Bruh, listen, so you already know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get on. I wanted to show them, I had learned how to DJ, I know how to blend now, whatever, blah, blah. And they looked at me like, ain't no time for you. Right, he gonna do his hour and such and such, and then, everybody had their time.
Right.
And nobody would give me not even 15 minutes of their time. So my cousin turned to me and was like, man, you got to get your own equipment. Like, you got to get your own equipment and throw your own parties. That's the only way you're going to be able to pull a crowd.
Yeah.
So at this time, I got a couple of dollars. I looked at all their stuff, wrote it down. I'm a book person. I'm a book one. Wrote all down. Okay, they got this, they got that. And in about 2-3 weeks, went and bought everything they had. Word. Then got out with my buddies and them that lived down there. All of us, we grew. We was like, hey, they live down there. Why are they throwing our parties down here when I got everything that they got? I'm throwing all the parties down here from now on. And the rest was history, man. Like, people, and then I love the low end, because the low end supported me so heavily. For sure. Like, they was like, that's our DJ. Yeah. Like, we don't need nobody else. That's our DJ. We got him. Sluggo our DJ. Word. So, shouts out to the low end forever, because they when I say, especially the women, like, women are so aggressive, bro. They used to be like, "No, he the best DJ in the world."
Right.
And then how you feeling that way? You be, you heard what she said, boy. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm, back growing up down there, and due to the fact it's the buildings, the Ickies and the Hilliers and the Stateway and right there, one. You know what I'm saying? By being so many people in those buildings and then being able to distribute those tapes and things like that, it's like they all grew up with me.
100%.
So it's like my fan base is like, I told Dion and Milton this one day. We were in the office, and I was like, y'all know we got a forever fan base, right? Because their kids are gonna hear us because they're gonna always play these mixtapes in the house.
Facts.
So the kids that's growing up in that household, they're gonna hear about you some way, somehow. So we at least gonna be 2, 3, 4 generations down.
Right.
Cause you ain't finna be able to tell your mama that this DJ ain't the best DJ.
100%.
All the new DJs coming up, but she gonna be like, nah, it wasn't like back in the days. Like, he'll kill him. Like, he don't want that problem that he dope. Like, he throw real parties, So I've seen people debates, and I've gotten phone calls where people got me on speaker like, man, ain't you better than such a man? Tell them, man. Nah, man, I'm not getting involved in that. But it's like, I'm fortunate enough to come up in a time where I have a forever fan base. You know what I'm saying? Those people in there up to, I'm from 30 to even 60, 65 maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's a nice margin.
Absolutely.
So I just been blessed, man. It's been 30 plus years of me being in this business.
Wow.
And to still be able to sell records to this day, like, it just don't happen like
wait,
that.
hold on, because you like, your history is so rich, right?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And one thing, like, how did you decide that you wanted to do Juke, or what they was even calling it at that time, Ghetto House, right?
So Ghetto House is what we end up coming up with. Juke came after Ghetto House,
right?
So you got to think we were the hood guys in the hood. We were doing music when NWA was like tearing up the, like hip hop had just came to Chicago, and everybody wanted to wear Raiders jackets and be, Easy-E and all them. Yeah. And so house music was fading. Like, it wasn't the preppy look no more with the penny loafers and all that. You even had Chicago cats in the corners wearing Timbs. Like, yeah, we were looking like, this ain't Chicago. But at the end of the day, this the trend that's going on now. So nobody wanted to hear, you ain't no thug finna listen to It's a Cold World and, I'm house, I'm happy and all that. So we decided we gonna curse on it. We gonna make these beats and curse on these records, because we were calling women out their name, like, saying derogatory things to guys. It was rough, like, and nobody was putting that description of what was going on in records. So that's why they called it Ghetto House, because we was just ghetto as hell, So when we found out that we could put out records that had profanity in them and people would take a liking to it, we found every curse word in the book. Like, hey, throw a beat behind this. And then a lot of the sayings that we got on these records was stuff that was being said in the hood. So we just took a bunch of hood stuff, put good beats and drums behind it, and the rest was history. We did music for the hood. Yeah. Like, we never expected it to, we be traveling overseas and DJing and the records, being put in films and movies and things. I didn't do music for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was me doing stuff in my corner of my bedroom saying, I'm finna put out the best track on the end. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was so competitive, because you had all the guys producing from the Ickies to the Stateway to Robert Taters to the Dib Ones. Everybody had their little production, and it was like competitive. That's what is missing right now. Like, the competition level is like not really there, but it was so competitive. Like, you would put out a track and I'd be like, ooh, MH just put out a dope track. So it's like, I'm in the rooms. Yeah, I'm in the room saying I gotta kill him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. We got a forever fan base, and that's a blessing to be able to even say, people in their 40s and 50s still, when they see you, they like, I still got my mixtape from '94. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I could speak from a fan point of view as well as a DJ now, right? So fan wise, I was a kid. I was probably about 10, 11 years old. I'm not supposed to have these tapes. My mama did not play me listening to old music with profanity at the time, right?
You from the Walkman days.
Hey, man, listen, she did not play. Or I got to turn the volume down real low so she can't hear nothing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, throughout school, these tapes are circulating, and if you got a purple tape or a blue tape or a red tape, like whatever, it was a different one each. It seemed like every month it was a new tape coming out, right? So you had to have one of these tapes. What? First of all, how did you get your music on that professional level so early in your career to where that you knew that these color tapes was gonna make a difference, or is it just
the color tapes was a fluke? So what happened was the first tape I put out.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
The color tape was a fluke. And I'm gonna tell you why. And well, if you go back and if you can get a chance to go back into our original tapes, we were trying to be like the record labels. Our original tapes was the chrome looking ones with the white letters on it.
I remember those.
Like the tapes was. So the guy who was pressing the tapes for us came across, you know, some company overseas, and he had these color tapes, and he was like, "Hey man, I think y'all should try this." And we were like, "No, people are used to this type of tape.
Yeah,
we want to fit in." And he was like, "Nah, you should stand out. So y'all should try it." He was like, "If you don't like it, you can always go back to this."
Right.
So he told me, "You should do this solid blue tape." Like, "What's your favorite color?" I'm like, "Blue." All right, let's do solid blue. Big bright white letters and see what happens. And the rest was history. People was like, "Man, you got his blue mixtape?" And I started hearing people saying that, like, they going off the color, they don't even know the name of it. So I went back to him like, "Hey, I think it's working because they talking about the color and they not talking about, I mean, they saying."
Funny. I'm sorry to cut you off. Now that you said, I never knew the name of it. I didn't even know you put a name on it.
People be hitting me up like, "Hey, that green mixtape you did." And I be looking like the dark green, the light green, or the mid green one. What you talk about? The solid color green one you had. And I'm like, "What's the name of it?"
Right.
I never knew the name. It's just I knew it was a solid green one.
And then color on it.
This is when I knew the color mixtapes had took off. People had started trading them. People was like, "Man, I'll let you keep my blue one
for
the red one." And I'm saying, "Oh snap! Like we done started, we done kicked something off." So now we at him saying, "You got to get us more colors."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he started flip flopping them. White on one side, red on the other side. Blue on one side, white on the other side. We like, "Oh, this is crazy." So then he started tie-dyeing them. Where it was multiple, we was like, "Oh yeah, this is." But we really did real good on those tapes. Like people, I'm talking about literally. I would get a box of tapes, and I think it was like 250 cassettes came in one box.
So you're selling them out the trunk then?
What? I'm talking about pull up. It was a parking lot with a restaurant right in the back of 4950. A parking lot, and people will always pull up on me. And me and the guys be sitting out there, and I got and they knew if he got new tapes in the trunk.
Facts.
So people will pull up. "Hey, let me get that. I know you got the new one." I'm like, "Man, matter of fact, I got two of them." We was doing them in doubles sometimes.
Yeah.
One day, me and Milton and Dion started doing stuff like compilations together. Like you'll get Dion on there, me on there, then Milton, and we'll put some guest DJ on there with it.
Yeah.
So now you getting a mixtape with all four of us on it.
Crazy.
So instead of $10, we need 20, bro. We need a dub for that. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up. But people that had no problem with it because they already knew. Even though it was a color mixtape, people knew like we were real. And this is why we were able to go further than a lot of other DJs. We were touchy about quality. Even with the music that I do to this day, like I make sure I may spend 2-3 hours on one drum because I want the drum to sound a certain way. Like I'm just not gonna put the track out until if I can't get the clap the way that I want, I'll just shut the computer down and be like, "All right, my ear's burning, so I'm gonna come back to it tomorrow." But that's what we like, and people to this day are still trying to get these mixtapes. So I came up with a genius idea, and then one of the people in I ended up meeting some people from Japan.
Okay.
While I was in Italy, and of course they was under the When We Love You, we want to do something great with you, whatever, such. And I was like, well, they was like, you never thought about bringing the mixtapes back? And I was like, nah, nobody really does mixtapes. You know, it's either a CD or a flash drive. And she was like, my husband does, he is a partner in a flash drive company.
Wow.
So let's do something together. And she was like, I got some ideas, and if you're willing to, you know, just listen to my ideas and whatever, and we're not going to charge you anything for it, but we want to create something for you. So they end up creating a mixtape flash drive for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I should have brought it in with me. So they created a mixtape, and the bottom of it where the tape goes, you pull it out. It's a flash drive, but it's a mixtape.
They look like the original.
It looked like it's just like the original.
Wow.
Mixtapes. Like in the case and everything.
Color, everything, like
yes,
blue.
It's always where they all white, but you can put anything you want on the sticker part.
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's
then
dope.
At the bottom where the tape is supposed to go, that's where the flash drive comes from.
Hey, that's dope.
And I'm gonna show it to you before I leave.
Dope.
I'm gonna show it to you.
Wow.
And they gave me that idea and didn't charge me anything. They just wanted to do something dope for me. And when I tell you, I posted it on Facebook and told people like, "Hey, I'm bringing this mixtape out with like 15 of my original mixtapes on it." Man, I don't even want to discuss what happened after that. It was 95 all over again.
Right.
I'm saying, oh yes, God is good.
I hear that.
I'm talking about people on the pull up. I'm telling people like, you know, my office is on 79.
Yeah.
I'm telling people, man, look, I'm be in my office from this time to this time. Just pull up. Literally, the police sat across the street because they thought it was something going on in the building, because people were just pulling up. I'm coming to the car and they seeing a transaction. So they looking like, man, they selling something out that building.
Old school.
So one of the police just was like, man, you know, tired of, I guess his people telling him to watch us. Yeah. He just walked up and asked, what are you bringing to these cars? And I was like, oh, you need one? Right. And he, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like, I sell to the police too. Right. So he was like, what you selling? So when I showed it to him, the crazy part about it, he was a fan. He was like, you did this, you? Man, hold on. Right. So he called his sergeant. The sergeant comes. Everybody pulling up. They tweaking. They looking like, you lying. You been in this building the whole time? Babe, we're going to keep an eye on the building, man. Like you one of the Chicago icon. We're going to make sure nothing happens to you. How much is this? And I was like, man, I'm going to give y'all the police discount, man. They $50. But for y'all, just give me $50, I'm going to give you 2 of them. Yeah. And they was like, man, he kept saying, my wife is, the sergeant dude kept saying, my wife is never going to believe this. Wow. Like she loved, like every Sunday she's listening to you on radio. Facts. And he was like, I'm a little jealous. You know, I got to catch this mix. And he was like, man, I never knew you was in this beat. Like, you don't feel uncomfortable? I was like, nah, man, I'm from the hood. Like, that's me. I'm a hood dude from the hood. I'm like, I don't roam people, so I don't really, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Right. So, he was like, yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on the building, just to make sure you're good, but whatever, but they literally thought we was doing something illegal up out of there. But I had people pulling up. They just pull up and I'm running out to the car and they see me counting the money and and I'm passing. They don't know what I'm passing. Right. So it was like, but I mean, it's just a blessing, man. I hear that. When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, my God. Like, when I saw it, because they had gave me, like, 3 markups. Like, they had gave me 3 prototypes. And I didn't like neither one of them. Because one of them came out the side, like, it pulled out the side. I was like, yeah. Then she was like, well, we got one more on this other. And a kid, I think they said the boy was, like, 15, 16. Wow. Okay. He came up with the design. And she was like, well, my I think she said her husband's friend's son was like, just wear the tape and it comes out the bottom. Yeah. And they designed it and they sent it to me. I said, this it. Right. Press these up ASAP. And she was like, well, what you want on them? Nothing. Send them to me blank. I'll fill them myself. Yeah. They was like, you sure? And then the first time they sent it to me, it was just with the plastic. Like, you stick them in a little plastic, peel the things off of them. But then she was like, on my second order, she was like, why you don't get the ones with the case, the protective case, so they don't crack? I'm like, I never knew y'all had that.
Right.
She was like, oh, no, we're going to send you this next batch with the cases. And I was like, oh, y'all finna make me like the hottest dude in Chicago. And, I just those type of blessings from, just the music carrying into those other countries and them people loving you for what you do and want to do something dope for you for the free. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, they ain't charge me nothing extra. They charged me what the tapes cost. They didn't charge me for the design at all. They was like, we just want to be able to give other people the tapes if possible. I'm like, I don't care.
Now, how was that? I don't mean to cut you off, but how was that? Because you spoke on it earlier, like this is something that was created on a low end at home just for the neighborhood. And now for it to be so well received in Europe and not just like Italy and Japan, but like, everywhere, like, yeah, you're like I remember seeing the videos when y'all went to Italy and y'all were rock stars over there. Like,
we have.
How was that?
Okay, so I've been to a lot of different countries, and this is gonna sound crazy. And every time I tell somebody, they be looking at me crazy because I was like, Russia was the place I had the most fun at. Like all of the countries I've been to, first of all, I've never seen a country that clean, ever, like ever. It wasn't even a piece of paper flying down the street.
Wow.
Literally, I promise you. And then when you look up in the sky, I didn't even see clouds. Like, it just wasn't no smog or nothing. It was beautiful. When they took me down to the Red Square, I was like, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And then to be a kid from the projects, standing in the Red Square, rushing these people saying, we can't wait to see you tonight. We're coming tonight. We're going to come check you out. And I'm looking at people. And when I got off the plane, I was terrified.
For sure.
Because people was, you shouldn't go over there. You're an American. You might not make it back and all that. And, of course, as you flying, it starts, first when I got on the plane, I'm like, man, ain't nobody finna do nothing to me. I didn't. But, when you start getting closer to it, I'm on the plane. I'm the only one speaking English. And, like, whoa. So it's like, feeling. I got there and was like, when I got off the plane and saw that they had my name and all that, and the way they greeted me, because it was 5 guys, they got a crew over there, and they were the ones that booked me.
Okay.
And they were like smiling and, they was like, he made it. I'm looking like, whoa. And then one of them, only two of them spoke English.
Okay.
So they was doing all the translating for me, and they was like, man, you have no idea how happy we are you here. We're finna show you the best hospitality possible. And it was like, it just took care of me, man. Like, they bought me a coat.
Wow.
And a hat. Because
we were in a different type of coat.
Man, listen, we were in the Red Square. I got a hoodie on, bro.
Oh, man.
But and the forecast was 58. Like,
okay.
58, almost like 60, right? But that ain't Chicago 60.
Right.
I don't know that, though. You know what I'm saying? This is people, if anybody traveling, you better ask some people, is that Chicago code or some other type of code? Because they showing me stuff. I'm in the square and I do something like a shiver. And dude was like, one of the dudes who didn't speak English talked to the other dude and like, ask him, is he cold? And I was like, no, I'm good. And he didn't say anything else. He just broke off. And we still walking around. They showing me stuff. And then he came back. He got a bag. He had 2 bags. He had one with the coat, one with this little bag with the hat in it. And I was like, he was like, here. And I'm like, what's this?
Right.
He was like, for you, our coats are different. Right. I put it on like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, this goose down, right? They got the matching hat. I'm looking like I'm in the car now.
Right.
So, but I from that point on, I was so comfortable, man. Like, they just really took care of me. Like, and the party was dope. The people were like so like the interaction, like the first party I did, they had me on this like I don't really like stages.
Okay.
Like I like feeling like I'm in the building. Yeah, where you can reach out and almost touch me.
Yeah.
The stage thing is cool, but I always felt like stages make you feel like you bigger than the people on and I just don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to people right in your face and y'all dancing together. You know, I like that. But the second party I did was a smaller party, but bigger for me.
Okay.
You know, and I interact with those people so much, man. I was like, hey, I'm coming back. Like, I don't know when, and of course not now.
Right.
But it's just man, Russia was great, man. Like, my first trip though, when I first got my passport, because I had some issues with getting my passport in the beginning.
Okay.
Was Italy. and a couple of buddies of mine were like, man, you there? Call us when you get there. And like, you there? And I'm like, yeah. They was like, now kiss the ground when you get outside, because you officially an international DJ.
Facts.
It was different for me. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, because I had never been overseas. But, you know, my manager was like, you got that passport, huh? Yeah, we gone. And he been, man, I'm just been gone. So it's been a blessing. Yeah, man, it's, God is good,
I saw over the pandemic, right, like, your live streams.
Oh,
right?
man.
And so when you go live, I was in the comments and I'm seeing people like posting their flags from all over the world.
Yeah.
And again, forget being a DJ, I'm a fan first. So as a fan, to see that, like, it's like, wow, like, this music was for us back in the day. Like, this is how you know this song all the way over there.
Man,
like,
the crazy part is, and this is crazy. Well, it's the truth though. They know the music better than y'all. Like, word for word,
1,000,000%.
And then
because we have our favorites that we you know, consistent with. Like,
I had some producers over there who approached me when I was in Belgium and was like, "Hey, bro, this record right here, you should make the drums do this on the remix. Watch what happens." He was like, "It's gonna take off over here." So of course, you know, I'm always open to learn anything
for sure.
And I'm like, so this, if I do this to the drums, it'll make the record a better feel over here. And I named it the Belgium Remix and sent it to them. It was like, y'all worked the record here. It's y'all exclusive.
Yeah.
One. And you know, needless to say, the record did well. Like, and then I did not expect it. Like, Europe has a different type of sound feel that they want. And it made me change some of my production. Like, okay, all right, I mean, let me reprogram my drums to do this, or, you know, make it go that way. So I keep the Chicago flavor, but I incorporate as much of the different cultures as I can from, you know, the different walks of life where people are. And then, you know, being able to go overseas, you get to meet people you probably would have never met in life.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's, people don't understand it, man. I just be telling people, like, man,
you gotta travel.
Man, listen, when I was in I'm trying to figure out where I was. It might have been Belgium. I think it was Belgium. And I cried in my hotel room, like, after the party. First of all, the hotel they put me in was fit for a king. Like they had this. I'm still to this day trying to find this overhead shower they had. I want this in my house so bad. So they had this overhead shower, and then I'm in the shower. This is after the show. Then the show was so phenomenal, like the vibe, like the feel. And I'm looking in people's eyes. They look, and we gone. Yeah. And when I got back to the hotel, it was one of those, man, I just killed that place. And then I think it was like 8,000, 9,000 people. Wow. And then, you know, when you hear people and the flow moving and everybody moving, it's like, this different.
That energy,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And in the moment, you just in the moment. I'm DJing. I'm in the moment. I'm like, okay, if you like that record, wait till I play this one. You know what I'm saying? So it was just one of the moments where I end up getting back to the hotel, and then reality kicked in. Like, damn, bro. Like, do you understand what you've been through, where you came from, where you at now? Yeah. And I'm in the shower, and I don't know why. I just start tearing up in the shower, like. For a whole year, I didn't tell nobody. Like, other than my significant other, I had told her, and she was like, I mean, me and she was like, you feeling the greatness? You gonna be all right? And I'm looking at her like, no, I ain't saying I don't need no spiritual uplifting. I'm just like grateful. Like it was one of those moments where I was just looking up like, God, you showing out, man. Like, this is crazy. And then they was like, the guy who booked me was like, oh, this party was nothing. Wait till the one that you see I got you for tomorrow. I'm like, what? Right. I'm like, this wasn't nothing? I'm like, this was everything to me. You know, so I don't know, man. I'm just,
you know, that come from getting old too, right?
Yeah,
you start crying.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes I be crying.
Yeah.
Like, what you crying for?
Yeah, but you know what though, it's cool to get the emotionality, because if you don't, you're gonna be dealing with mental health.
For sure.
You're gonna be needing some counselors and things like that. So I'm okay with telling people, yes, I cried. I cried because I felt good. It was one of them good cries. Like, I can't believe I'm where I'm at. Like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, and then it's like to go from playing for people in the projects and on the porch and in a choke room or in a gymnasium to playing in it's 8,000 people. Yeah, it's 9,000. So now I'm looking at. It made me look at these other artists to understand why some of them act the way that they act. If you performing in front of 200,000 people or selling out the Barclays Center and things like that, it probably changes you as a person. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand. Like a lot of people, like, man, I don't know why he act like that. Like, bro, he just did a concert. Yeah. And sold out the Barclays Center. Yeah. Like, bro, like, do you understand how many people that ain't average? Yeah. Yeah. So, like, and shouts out to Kevin Hart because my cousin Don Ski is real close with him, and I remember him bringing him here before he became. Wait, Kevin Don Ski your cousin? Yeah, that's my cousin. That's my baby cousin. Wow. Yeah, Don Ski and Showtime. Shout out to that's my guys, daddy's. Man. They mother is my daddy's sister. Wow. Yeah, they my real cousins. Right. So I seen him with Don, and you know, he was doing the little comedy shows and stuff like that, and Kevin was like really a nobody at the time. I remember. And Don was saying it though, you know, Ski was like, man, dude gonna be the guy. Yeah, dude gonna be, he my homie too. And I'm looking like, you know, like I seen it after that and was like, this dude blew the hell up. Word. Man. Like, and when I saw he sold out the Barclays, and I said, oh, he gone. Yeah. Ain't no coming back from that. Like, you got to do something, can you do bigger? You know, so, and I already knew, I'm like, he got to do movies and things like that, because ain't nothing after, on the comedy side of selling out the Barclays Center. He sold out, I don't know the name of the venue, so I don't want to lie, but something in Wimbledon, and it heard like 100,000 seats or something. Yeah, I think he did something in Africa too, like crazy. Yeah, Kevin Hart is just gone. Yeah. He's a different level of stardom. So, you know, he's like a Michael Jackson of comedy. Word. You know, and I just wanted to mention him because I know his struggle. I know where I watched him, you know, I watched him put his work in on his craft. So when you put the work in, man, it's gonna come, man. So, you know, that's why I'm continuously working, man. It's like people like, you ain't comfortable. That was my next question for you. What keeps you want to be so, I don't want to use the word just relevant, right? Because that's the cliche word to use, but what makes you want to keep on going after achieving and accomplishing so much? What's keeping your passion going? I'm trying to create a situation where my grandkids ain't got to figure it out. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like put everything together so when they get older, they get to make a decision, not try to figure it out. Yeah. Like, I want to go to school. Now my granddaddy say, hey, if I want to go to school, I can go to school. If I don't have to go to school, I'm okay financially. Yeah. You know, so, but I'm going to work. So it's like, you know, and I got a couple of grandkids. So it's like, I got to do it until I hit the dirt. You know what I mean? So, you know, but just setting them up financially, you know, and making sure my daughters, you know, my sons is straight. That's really for my kids. Like, I learned later on in life, like, you got to create that legacy. Like, if you don't, you know, matter of fact, you know what movie made me realize it? Black Panther. Listening to dude talk to his pops, and he was like, you know, if a man, you know, ain't taking care, you know, ain't setting anything up for his child, like you really not doing, you're not doing your, you know, your service or justice. So it was a lot of gems in Black Panther. Oh, 100%. Yeah. So I watched that movie like 8 or 9 times because I wanted to, like, I don't want to miss a gem. Right. But that movie changed things for me. Like, it made me start looking at life different, perspective different. You know what I'm saying? So, but are you having fun with it though? Still? Yes. Let me tell you. At first, like, you know when I had my most fun, the pandemic, because I was able to. I'm sorry. I try to tell people that. Listen, being able to still get an income and lock myself in my office and play for the world. Man, it don't get no better than that. Man, I'm telling people, I ain't gotta go outside. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Even though the pandemic was kind of crazy, I was okay with being in the house. Like, I was okay with being like, yeah, nobody's dying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't kill nobody because you can't go outside. Right? No, ain't nobody outside. So it was like, for me, it was like you have to the digital world was, and what it did was it made all the hustlers become real hustlers. If you're a hustler, you survived the pandemic.
Sure.
It made men become men and real women become women. So, if you were one of those people that fell off during the pandemic, then you wasn't really on your business. You know what I'm saying? So, and the pandemic created a lot of African American entrepreneurs and millionaires.
100%.
So at the end of the day, and then it taught you a lot of stuff that you can do without.
Yeah.
I don't need that. And
right.
I don't need this and I don't need that. Like, we don't need clubs.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily need clubs. And it made me say, I don't even need a promoter.
Oh, I ain't got to do this. I don't need this person to do this.
Yeah, I don't need you to do that for me, you know? So,
and if as a DJ or an artist, if that's what you do, like, it gave you that understanding of knowing you got a straight to consumer place. That
I don't need no third party.
Go through nobody else to do certain things.
It cut out so many middlemen, and then, it was like, it made me say, I'm never negotiating with another promoter a day in my life.
Word.
I mean, I had already was, due to the fact my cousin is one of the top promoters, I really had a little thing for promoters where he would straighten me out because I had a thing with promoters. Like, and I want this in the interview because I always felt this way, bro. And me, shouts out to my bro John Doe.
Okay,
he one of the promoters who I actually had this conversation with, and him and Don Ski's both perspectives were different. Okay, Don Ski was under I'd be trying to get extra money from the club for the DJs, whatever. And John Doe was like, nah, bro, like, you my man, Sluggo, but I'm not giving you $1,000 when this other DJ gonna take $400, and I basically can give him the playlist and tell him what to play. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got the star power, but I don't necessarily need you to throw this guy on the stage and say, hey, play these 25 records or 30 records and whatever order you want to play them in, but make sure you play these records versus you already knowing what to play and knowing what to do, but it's going to cost me an extra $600. And when I looked at that, I'm like, and he was like, and for that reason, I'd rather be your friend than me and you do business. I don't ever want to fall out with you business wise, try to hire you, whatever. I'll call you when I need you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I'm trying to do something big, do something on a crazy scale, and I got a crazy budget. But he was like, that's why I don't want to fall out with you because you feel like I'm not hiring you. I'm telling you why I'm not hiring you because it's DJs out here who would take $300, $200. He was like, if I'm versus giving you $1,000 and giving another DJ $200 for the entire night, so you think I'm finna give you an extra $800? And he was like, I don't care how close we are. Yeah. There's no reason for me to give you an extra $800. And I was like, versus Don Ski saying, I try to find the money for him, but I got to get it from the club. Still, you looking at it because you want to get it from the club. Right, yeah. So when I had a thing for promoters at that time, like, man, I need to show them I don't need them, And then back in the days, me, Milton, and Dion, when promoters didn't want to do what we want to do, we would throw a party the same day as your party. Like, we would throw a party down in the projects and be like, all right. Yeah, hey, cool. You want to throw a party? You don't want to hire us to do your little gig? All right, we're gonna do something at the Girls and Boys Club. Yeah, and we charging $6. So we're gonna take at least half of your business,
if not more.
Yeah, so people start saying that we might well gonna book. The only way we can stop them from throwing parties, we got to book one of them, right, to break up their little trio. So, but you can get one of us, and then we had a pack. You can't get one without the other. Right, you got to pay all three of us. So people's like, man, all right, look, we're just gonna hire them three, and then, so that's how we used to squeeze the promoters back then. But then somehow it switched, where the promoters started just like they really. This was always my stigma with promoters. I meant to get back to it. Then we can go to the next question. The bar does $20K. Okay, we had what was the club on 100 and the one that they closed down because of the shootings. Adriana's. Okay, let's go to Adriana's. Adriana's was killing. Yeah. Okay. Adriana's was probably doing anywhere from 20 to 40 grand at the bar.
Easy.
On a night, not the weekend.
On a Friday.
On a Friday. Just say a Friday, right? The door had to be doing 10 bands or better. Easy. Right? We're not gonna talk about the food. The food doing 10 bands or better. So we somewhere in the club probably doing anywhere from 100 to 200,000 in a night.
Yeah.
So you talking about almost somewhere between 300,000 to 400,000 a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, if they got an artist in there, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Right?
Whole different game.
And you mean to tell me out of $400K, you gonna get a DJ for the night $300? I remember one of the promoters at the Adriana's telling me, man, we got $1,000 budget for the entire night for all of the DJs. And I'm looking at the lineup saying, they got to split up $1,000?
Yeah.
You just did 25 at the door, bro. Like, and when I saw that, I was like, nah, man, I can't do these clubs, bro.
DJ
like,
is one of the most underappreciated.
Oh my God! Listen, I had a lady in the world. Had a lady just recently. It had to be probably not even a month ago. We ended up working it out, but she didn't book the DJ for the wedding.
Wow.
They did everything else and forgot that they needed a DJ for the wedding and the reception.
Wow.
Even her husband said that. He was like, man, I don't know, Sluggo, man. He was like, luckily I knew you and could call you, and I'm glad you got the date open because what was we going to do? And I just looked at him like, bro, I said, do you understand how disrespectful that is? Like, you booked everything.
The 360 camera, the smoke machine.
Man, you got everything. Everything is happening. And the most important thing in the building, you didn't get.
Now listen, that's my slogan to people. When they try to, haggle me about my price for their wedding,
turn the music off.
Other than the bride and groom, who else more important than me? Because you need the bride and groom for the wedding,
they
right?
They got to come in to the music. They got to come in. But got to have a nice speaker system.
Who else?
And I tell people that this all the time with weddings. If I press one wrong button or push one wrong record, it messes up the entire wedding. I'm the most important person in the building. Me, the wedding coordinator, and the bride and the groom.
For sure. I'm more important than the coordinator, though.
No, I'm more important than the coordinator because she got to tell me. She got to come to me to say, hey, do this. Hey, we finna do this. Hey, we finna do that. And you think you finna pay her more than you finna pay me?
You hear me?
Is you crazy? You think the cameraman finna make more than me? You think the facility itself?
I gotta bring in the equipment.
Yeah, I got man. Listen, then I gotta tote it in all by myself.
Yeah,
we always the first one in, the last one out. Go.
And dealing with a bunch of drunk people.
Then you gotta think
night.
this: you want to pay me for the 4 hours, but you ain't talking about the hour that I'm early and the hour's gonna take me to leave after I'm packing up.
For sure,
I'm really there with you for 6 hours. That's a whole day's work.
For sure.
So I just be looking at people like no, and then I'm one of those people, and I always made it my and take this, bro, as a DJ. I want to make sure you have a different type of conversation about me when you're talking about me.
Always.
So when people talking about me, they be like, he high as hell. He expensive. Man, he be talking astronomical numbers. I don't want nobody be like, oh, man, I can get him to do it for like 200, 300. When I start hearing people talking about DJs like that, I'm like, you never had that conversation about me, ever. Mm-hmm. I want you to say, man, the man did it for me for $1,000.
Word.
And somebody saying, he charged me too. He charged me $2,000. He gave this for you for $1,000. Yeah, but my wife know him. So, I want them type of conversations.
For sure.
So, other than that, it's like, man, I'm not finna let you have them type of conversations about me. Like, my price is my price.
Right.
And there's a million DJs in Chicago.
Yeah.
But you call me. So, at the end of the day, somebody in your crew or you see me somewhere or know something happened and say, oh, I know exactly who to call. Yeah. So, when you know exactly who to call, you know exactly what you got to pay.
100%.
So, or somewhere in the vicinity of like, yeah, we're going to have to pay him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't.
That's funny. I was just having a conversation with somebody today, and they was telling me, that they was going up on a price, and how do I feel about them going up? I'm like, that's your price, not mine.
Yeah.
Like I ain't mad at you. You should, because I'm not lowballing myself.
This is what I tell people all the time. How you don't go up? Inflation and went up. If the price of milk, if the price, listen, you gonna die out here.
Yeah.
I be looking my DJs in the face, bro. You gonna die out here, bro. And that's why first of all, we don't get dental and medical, bro. Listen, music is my life, bro. Yeah. Like, I don't know about nobody else. Everything I own in life has came from music. Period. Like I got out of prison the second time and said, I'm never working another 9 to 5. I want to build my own company, do my own thing. I'm not working for nobody. I'm not doing it. I want to be able to pick my own hours, do my own thing, do what I want to do. And I'm gonna die trying. Period. Like this is it for me.
Yeah.
So when you got that type of mentality, I'm not tolerating you saying, well, our budget is 500. Well, you called the wrong number. I'm sorry. But that's what made me do my DJ crew. I said, there's no reason for me to let that 500 go down the drain, though. It may be another DJ that'll take it. I should be the one to be able to present that to you. So, hey, I got 30-something other DJs. I'm not going to take that, what you have. But I will put it in my room on the board and see which one of my DJs is comfortable with taking your $500 for the 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're going to be good DJs. So I always tell the DJs, like, hey, man, when you go there, you representing us. Go in there and spend like they gave you 5,000.
Yeah.
Versus 500.
Now let's talk about it. Block Club DJs. What made you decide to start that?
You really, people ain't gonna never. Well, and rest in peace, K Slay. So listen, I'm in New York. They had a DJ conference, and me there, I'm there. Ferris there. V-Dub was there. What's his name? Used to be on GCI. I can't think of his name. His real name Thomas.
Phantom?
Nah.
Lil Jon?
Nah. I can't think his name, but his real name is Tom. I think he used to date Dime Piece. I think so. I can't think of his name, but
33 and the third.
33 and the third.
Okay.
So all of us there. They got all different Chicago. It's like a Puffy's old manager put this event together. So I went 2 years in a row. Second year I'm there. It might have been the first year. First year, everybody's there. When I say every top DJ in the world, they got Eric Kubert, all these guys are there. Wow. I'm like, Jesus. And I had never seen, I knew a lot of them from bumping into them on the road and different gigs and things, but all of us in the one room at the same time, I'm talking about literally everybody in one room at the same time in the auditorium. First they had us all in the lobby, then they all in the auditorium. Wow. And the conversations was crazy. So Funk Flex asked me a crazy question, and this is how I ended up. I was violated at the time. Okay. I had violated Juice Squad DJs at the time, and he asked me like, "Hey, if you know, they was talking about the different cities and the go-to DJ crews in the cities, and of course I got to stay out this conversation because I don't know a go-to DJ crew in Chicago where if you send a record there, they get it to the DJs as a crew." So I'm basically really not saying that. Matter of fact, my homie Extra was with me. The rapper Extra, he was with me.
Okay, I know Extra.
So I tell him, like, man, they over here talking about DJ crews in different cities. We don't got one. So they bring it up again in this little huddle, and Flex turns and say, "You from Chicago, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." That's a big city, man. Who we go to? Who we send? I got some records. Who we send the records to down there? And I'm like, the truth? I don't know, bro. He was like, so why don't you start one when you get back? Why don't you just start it? Because he asked me, like, what crew you with? I'm like, I'm Violator. He's like, oh, you with Chris? No. And I'm like, yeah, you know. I was like, but I'm a branch. I got my own thing. You know, I got Violator Juice Squad. We do a different type of music, different type of sound. Chicago got its own sound. Right. So when we get back, Bang, my cousin Bang, at this particular time, he has Block Club Music Group. So this is where Block Club comes from.
Shout out to Bang, that's my guy.
So he had an artist named Check Famous at the time. So when I get back, I reach out to Violators, and I asked them for a promo van. It was a promo van and something else, and it was like a little touchy, you know. And now you gotta mind you, I took Violator Juke Squad. We had to be like 100 something or plus. We almost 200 deep. For sure. Right? Now I done took your name, something I don't own, and then took it in Chicago and then, you know, took these DJs and got all these DJs repping this. We got shirts, jackets, like all out of our pocket. So I'm like, why am I what like the van was like 5,800. Why am I wrestling with y'all about 5,800? Now we had it in our account, but I'm looking like, no. When we at the meeting, we at the table, I'm like, we shouldn't have to pay for that. Like, Look at all the stuff we done spent with their logo. This they logo, you know, and may rest in peace. Chris never knew. Like, it never got to him.
Okay.
It never got to him. So the powers that be, I don't know. I know for a fact it never got to him because I ended up talking to Mona Scott, and we never knew. Because, of course, they would have loved to kept us. We was 100 some deep, bro. Yeah. Like, literally. It was, I promise you, bro, it was almost 200 of us. Like, we used to have to have meetings in the gym. That was the only thing that would hold us. So, Bang ended up having a artist named Check Famous. Mm-hmm. I'm pissed at this time. Like I'm mad. Like, I got to figure something out. So me and Bang talking. He was like, man, I need y'all to push Check to help me. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get the DJs behind it, but I don't know what's going on with this situation I'm in right now. I'm finna leave, but I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And he was like, hey, you should build your own crew, come up with a name, and take everybody with you. And anybody that want to stay over there, let them stay over there. And I'm like, so he put that idea in my head, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to take everybody with me. They all with me anyway. Mm-hmm. So I end up trying to think it through. Me and him ended up he was doing some graphics for me. And he say, man, just since we doing the Block Club Music Group, just make them the Block Club DJs. We just going to make them Block Club. Me and him come up with that. I'm like, what if we did like Block Club DJs and make a part of the Block Club, music group? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, that's it. We Block Club DJs, man. Mm-hmm. And we going to branch off. And so I threw a meeting like a week later. Gave everybody I'm leaving Violator. Everybody that want to come with me, I'm starting the Block Club DJs. Everybody want to come with me. Anybody that want to stay with Violators, I'll speak to the powers that be, and y'all can stay over there, and hopefully they'll let y'all stay. Yeah. And that's how Block Club came about. And
so what has been 15 years?
Man, we start 2000. We did our first meet and greet in 2011. Yeah, wow. So 2011. Okay. So we really were together like 2010, I think. 2010. So it's been like 12 years, mm-hmm. 12, 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 12 years later, like what's keeping Block Club, what's the state of Block Club, rather?
We still good. Actually, February 23, we started the meet and greets back.
Okay.
The pandemic messed us up. And then they tried to get us to do it last year, but he was only going to let me have 150, 200 people. And I was like, bro, they're going to tear your place up.
Right.
Because I was like, if we got 200 here and then you got 200 outside that can't get in, they're going to destroy your parking lot.
Yeah.
Something's crazy going to happen. It's going to mess everything up. So I'm like, why don't we just wait until we can open it back up? And he was like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, well, you always have a home. And then me and him just talked maybe like a month ago, and he was like, we doing it? I'm like, yeah, we back.
That's good. I always have a good time.
Yeah, the meet greets be like, it's a lot of people who careers was built off that, people who get money to this day from the relationships of meeting them. That's what I did it for. So the DJs can meet the artists can meet the DJs, the powers that be can be in the room with everybody. And that's why it's a meet and greet. That's why I always stop the music. Every year I should stop the music. Like, no, cut the music, cut the chaos. Everybody find out who's who in the building and politic. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what'll come out of this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people still to this day get money from the relationships of meeting at that meet and greet. People they would have never met. So the meet and greets is, February 23. Last Sunday in February 2023, we back doing it again.
Dope. What you think about the state of juke music right now?
Love it. It's back. Like,
facts.
Yeah, it's juke music is, man, like the sound. It never really went nowhere.
Yeah.
It just died here. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not gonna say Midwest wise. It just died. Chicago, basically, the people who created it, and a lot of the fan base went on to other things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that when I came home, like juke music was dead. Mm-hmm. When I say dead, I'm talking about people's like, the dance schools was gone.
Yep.
When nobody really doing nothing, and I was like, no way. That's why I ended up becoming the poster child for it. Like, I'm gonna keep beating this drum machine. Like, I'm telling y'all, this is a unique sound. I've seen it. Like, even being in the joint, people look like, it's officers was telling me, you're not supposed to be here.
Word.
Like, what's wrong? Like, how? What did you do? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And when you hear that, then there's this is who straightened me out. One of the COs straightened me out. My daughter, she was little at the time. She had like almost like a panic attack in the visiting room because she wanted me to leave with her. And of course, I'm in prison, I can't leave.
Right.
And she kept asking, why y'all got the same uniforms on, and all them little questions. And when she got ready to leave, she was like, no, Daddy, I want to go with you. And so on the way back, taking me back, he was like, you know, when you come to places like this, you don't just affect yourself. You affect everybody around you that loves you.
Word.
So people who sending you these money orders, people that's buying stuff, people that's paying that phone bill, people coming to traveling all this distance to come see you, that's a toll on your family, bro. So the next time you think about doing something, think about that before you do it, because you're finna take a toll on your family. Yeah. So I told myself that night, like, man, y'all ain't getting y'all hands on me no more, man. Like, I know I'm straight and narrow. I don't want no problems, and I keep demonic people away from me, and I keep negativity away from me. So it's like when I tell people sometimes, hey man, that's real demonic. Like, go away. Yeah. Like, walk away. And I don't got no problem looking you straight in your eye. Like, hey, that's demonic, bro. Like, the stuff you talking about is demonic, and I don't like that spirit. Like, so go and get away from me. I know you're doing your job as a devil, but get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm gonna let you do your job, but just not over here. So
you used to say something, and you said something. I don't know if this was at a meet and greet or just us chopping it up. Well, you said Chicago artists don't embrace juke music enough, right? Y'all need to start making these records.
This was 5 years ago.
And putting it over juke songs and putting it over, and all of a sudden nobody took advantage of it, right?
Everybody named Mammy doing it.
Then all of a sudden this song come out. It's called WAP, and it becomes one of the biggest records in the world. Yeah. And by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, everybody mad. Take off, and everybody mad. Like they took our sound and they this and that and that. And I'm like, nah, Sluggo Ben told y'all to do that, because you were the one who I heard say specifically.
And this is what made me mad about it, bro. At the time I'm talking to you, we was chopping it up. At the time I'm telling you this, I'm Do or Die's tour DJ. Now you got to imagine, we talking about AK, B-Lo, and Hart, right? Who are always basically when they book Do or Die, 9 times out of 10 Twisters facts on that show as well. I'm telling T, I'm telling B-Lo, me and AK like this. I'm telling K, AK, y'all need to do a record with me, bro. Like, y'all need to jump on one of these juke songs, right? And the crazy part about it is, K ex footworker.
Oh wow, okay.
K can footwork. Yeah. So I'm telling them, like, how not you? So he ain't listening. T ain't listening. And then I'm like, I was upset because I was saying, out of all of the Chicago artists, none of y'all came and said, hey, let's just do one of these juke records and put it at the end of the album. Yeah. Just to see. You know what record you know who was smart enough to do it and end up getting 3 Grammys from it? Chance. Yeah. Because he come from that world. He come from the dance and the juke world. When he did it, at the time, they thought it was a new sound. Yeah. Whole time, this is Chicago flavor. For sure. Nobody took advantage of it. Chance said, I'll do it.
This what I do.
It surprised everybody at this particular time. The sound was so phenomenal. People was like, oh my God, what is that? Right. They listening to the drums and they say, oh my God, what is that? Whole time I'm looking at it. And the crazy part, I need to sit down with Chance because what's his name? They run the Fake Show Drive.
Andrew
calls me one night and said, this is prior to Chance dropping the album. Man, Chance want to do something with you, whatever, blah, blah, such. And at this particular time, I'm going through, it was just mad. It was crazy for me. And they were trying to get me to get up. It was like in the morning time. I mean, the night to like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And I'm already going through, and then I got relationship things going on. It was just crazy. And I'm like, man, I'm not finna get up and go to no studio, man, or whatever. Blah. And this is one of the things I regret in my career. And I didn't know who Chance was. And Andrew's, man, just come down to the studio, man, whatever, such. And then we just gonna put something together. And I'm like, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. And I think they got offended, you know what I mean? And I missed that album. Dang. Missed that album, missed them Grammys, and was like, that dude tried to put me on that album. Word. And when he sees me, it's always, hey, look, because he know who I am, I know who he is. It's always love. But I know deep in there, he looking like, see, yeah, you should have. You know, so, you know, man, shouts out to Chance, man. Because that Chicago sound, he made it worldwide, bro. He took it out there. Outside of what we had already done, Chance made them respect it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna respect the Chicago sound. We different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we different. I was just on the phone, on a Zoom call yesterday with TT, the artist. I don't know if y'all remember. She from Baltimore. And we working on some things right now. And matter of fact, I just did a record with it. It's bananas. It's crazy. So that's finna drop. But the conversation went from us just doing the deal with the record to me and her being on a Zoom call for about 2 hours, 3 hours.
Wow. Just
politicking. And she's a dope artist. She's a dope person. And then I said, I really I don't like emails and texts. Emails and texts can get misconstrued.
For sure.
I like one-on-ones because I can really look you in your face and we can get some, some stuff established. And you can feel me, I can feel you, and we going back and forth. But, bro, me and her got so much stuff done in a matter of that couple of hours, man. Just the conversation alone, I'm seeing where she at, she's seeing where I'm at, and we collabing with the minds. Yeah. And, just under the respect level, like, man, she got a documentary she did called Dark City Beneath the Beat. I think that's the name of it. Dark City. Dope. It's a dope documentary on Netflix. Okay. When she said that, I'm like, you got a documentary on Netflix? She was like, yeah. That's what I was like. I was like, and she young. She a young girl. This ain't no old chick, And she was like, nah, it's like I got my own company, whatever. She was real tight with DJ Swift, the young lady that died. Okay, yeah. This was her people. So, that Baltimore Club is, she did a documentary on Baltimore Club. And it's a lot of stuff about Baltimore Club I didn't know until I watched this documentary. So it was real. She was like, you should do one for Chicago, for the juke sound, for the Ghetto House. And I'm like, yeah, you just inspired me. Like, I'm going to get this together.
Because if anybody could do it, it's you.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She was like, you know all the history. Yeah. Like, it's places you can go that other people can't go. It's people gonna speak that wouldn't normally speak because you're on the other side of the camera. And she executive produced it. She did the graphics for a lot of it. Like, oh wow, yeah, she was all the way in on it. And so
So question, okay. My next question is this: we have DJ Fats. Shout out to Fats. That's my guy, right? We had him on Eastside Certified, and in our conversation, we were talking about again the current state of juke, and I was telling him. One of the guys that I see pushing it forward at a high like you guys now is DJ PJ. What you think? Do you see anybody else like PJ is going crazy?
PJ is like little bro. Yeah, like, PJ from the Ickies. Yeah. So when I first came home, may rest in peace, my man Omar. He was in the Ickies. He was like the guy that ran the Ickies. Okay. Monty, PJ, Mikey Mike, and it was Monty, PJ, Mikey Mike, and Lefty. They were doing all of the parties and stuff down there. And at this particular time, I really wasn't trying to do no more parties. But O was like, hey man, I need you to hook up with my guys, man. Like, start coming to the Ickies, do the parties with them in the Ickies. And that's how me and Montino got real tight, you know what I'm saying? Like, Omar was like, man, you need to politic with them. I want you to make that happen for me. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. And that's how, and PJ was a shorty at the time, you know what I'm saying? Word. I'm watching him. I tell Monty, that little dude gonna be a problem, man. I'm watching him studying the drum machine, studying the sounds. And I'm saying, dude, he used to come to my house weekly. You know what I'm saying? Like, PJ was almost like a pest sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But he's my little dude. Right. You know what I'm saying? So still to this day, him and Limo. Limo was a dancer at this time. Okay. Limo was dancing and footwork and all that. And I was telling Limo, like, I'm finna leave from down here doing, because I had started traveling. Yeah. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to do these parties. Let me teach you how to DJ. And you can take, I'll just hand the crown over to you. So that's how, and then Limo and PJ used to be together every day. For sure. So I was like, well, since you already around PJ, you might as well be sense. A DJ. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gonna understand the DJing part better. You're gonna be a better producer because you dance. Yeah. So you know what you will really snap to. And the rest is history. PJ and Limo are not playing right now.
They are not playing.
And I tell people all the time, man, like, low end DJs are not nothing to play with, bro. Especially on production side. Like, man, we will slaughter you. You know what I'm saying? So, and we never brag. That's the thing about people don't understand. You don't hear us out here gloating or bragging. It's like I used to always tell PJ Lima, let the music speak. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't brag. Don't boast. Don't just if you hear a record, you don't got to say nothing crazy. Just make something better. To the point where let the people talk about you. And right now, PJ is one of the people. And what I love about it, he tag every record. I told him, like the crazy part about it is he my man, love him to death. Like he like my baby brother. I won't play a lot of PJ records. I'm like, PJ, I'm sorry, I can't play nothing. DJ PJ made this track. I know I'm not playing that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But man, I love PJ, man. PJ and Limo, them my two little guys, man. So you know, and the only thing I like about PJ and Limo, they just stuck in their ways, bro. Like they hood dudes. Like ain't no real talk, and they know. I tell it to them all the time, like, hey, you should, man. You know this PJ, him and Limo, they talk the same way. Man, Joe, ain't nobody trying to do that. That's your thing, Slug, man. And you know PJ, man, you know Limo always, man, we killing shit out here, man. Me and PJ, man, you know I curse, right? Yeah, you good. About that. Man, we killing shit out here, man. Like, man, ain't nobody trying to y'all. That's that old shit, man. You know we like ain't no. And then you know PJ cocky. People don't know that though. Like he cocky in his own way. Like he'll be cocky when he like, man, ain't nobody fucking with me, Slug. Like I'm killing these niggas. Ain't nobody fucking with me. But if you see him at a party and thing like that, PJ quiet as hell, man. Uh-huh. But that nigga is killing the game right now. Sure. And I love him.
I'm a fan. Been a fan for a long time.
That man drums is off the chain, and I
like what he doing with these young artists, right? Because he's taking that young energy that they get,
putting them drums behind them, and like, man. So the juke and the drill, I love it. I told PJ, I'm like, nigga, y'all on to something, but. Like by them being so hood, they not doing the business part correctly. You know, I tell them all the time, PJ, you got kids, bro. So, you know, and then you be at these wild ass parties. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always shootings and stuff like that at you and Limo parties, bro. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful, and then you got to set it up for your shorty. So you got to get he calls and asks a lot of business questions and things like that, but you know him and Nemo just stuck in their ways, man. I love both of them little brothers. They, you know, they just got to get the business part in order, but production wise, man, them two boys ain't to be played with, boy. Like for real.
What's next for you? Now hold on. Cause this is what I love, right? Sluggo a hustler, and when Sluggo got something, he gonna make sure everybody know, and everybody gonna go get it, right? Yeah. Sluggo called me one day like, "Yo, you still play with vinyl? Yeah, I got some.
Yeah,
come get it." So I went and got those records, man. Yeah. So what you got new? Cause I know you got some records stashed. You got something.
Well. So right now the main thing I'm concentrating on is I just switched labels. Okay. So by me switching labels, of course they grabbing all of my old catalog, but I want to bring something real fresh and real new to them, to, you know, not really impress them, but just to show them like I appreciate y'all taking me on as an artist, and you know the conversation they had with me on the phone, like the honor and respect that they have for me kind of sent me in a different direction. Like, damn, you know, because you got to think. I told you I was distributed by 3 different labels right now at the same time. Okay, and I've never talked to neither one of them. Wow, it's always been emails and texts, or you know, I've never had a Zoom meeting or a phone conversation. It's just, and I always felt some type of way about that. Like, I don't want the CEO to come downstairs, but at least his assistant, or you know, somebody who's in the department of distribution. Hey, man, look, what are you trying to do? What's your next album? And then this guy at the label reached right out to me because Fats had did something with him first. Okay. And he was like, you should try it, whatever. And then I sent a record over there, and the dude hit me back like, hey, man, are you Sluggo? He called me, and he sent me his number, his direct sale number. I'm like, yeah, what's happening? You know, he was like, bro, would you be willing to bring your entire catalog over here? And he was like, and we're going to grandfather you in on the old deal. Like, not this new thing. We're going to grandfather if you bring your entire catalog. And then he got to telling me how, you know, he's a real fan, and he used to come to the rave parties, and he was shorty and all that. And he was like, "Let me take care of you over here." And like, it's just been great conversation. I'll text the man, and he instantly hit me back and things. When I saw that, I'm like, this ain't normal for no record exec person. You know what I'm saying? But he a real dude. Mm-hmm. So I just told him, like, man, just your conversations with me, and you know how you interacted with me. I'm leaving everybody. And he was like, everybody? I'm like, everybody, bro. Everybody got a record on me. They gonna have to turn it over. Word. I need y'all to distribute it. That man said, man, hold on. And he was like, he did something with his boss. They sent me an email, and then we got on a conference conversation, and they was like, man, we're happy to have you over here. We finna get everything together. By this time next year, we probably be your best friends. Wow. And I just told him, yeah, well, I'm waiting for this time next year. But just the conversations alone made me say, I believe y'all, man. Mm-hmm. Like, everything y'all said y'all was gonna do, y'all done it. So, and just getting on the phone with y'all, you got the CEO of the company on the phone. Word, yeah. He came downstairs to talk, bro. Just to come downstairs and have a conversation with me is a whole nother. My loyalty is impeccable, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I don't. When I'm with you, I'm with you, and then when I'm against you, I'm against you. Yeah. And when you tell me, like, that man said, man, I want to see you here. He was like, you deserve that. When I heard him say that, I said, okay. All right. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We ain't really got to finish the conversation. Like, I'm already moving folders and stuff over now. And then they was tripping on me because they had did stuff with other artists. And, you know, I'm extreme. I got I think what they call ADHD. Yeah, well, I'm like, if you move this bottle, I forgot what they call it. I had to move it back to the spot where it was at. And like, if the table dirty, I'm like, no, before we sit down, I got to wipe this table. Mm-hmm. That type of stuff. So when I sent them the folders, I was like, well, I got the such already. I got everything, the ISRC numbers, everything, all that. I got the XL sheet, the spreadsheet. He was like, what? And he was like, so I don't have to do no work? I was like, unless you want to, right? But I got it all in the folder right now for every record. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, and I own 100% of all my masters. That man said, man, hold up, man. That man said, okay, for sure this time next year, it's gonna be a different ball game for you. Word. So, you know, and I was already just being around the industry and watching people miss opportunities and stuff like that because they wasn't organized, or when the opportunity presented itself, they wasn't prepared. Mm-hmm. I always said that would never happen to me. So if you, man, I got at least 50 hard drives, bro. Wow. I got a backup for a backup on the backup. I'm not losing no music. I hear that. I had a disaster one time and lost my lost a whole year's of work, a whole year on a hard drive, a whole year of work, and the people who retrieve stuff off they couldn't it was damaged. You talking about crushed?
I don't produce
a whole year of tracks.
I DJ, so imagine losing
a whole year of tracks gone. And I said, oh, this will never happen. Yeah, man. Like, I'm a backup for the backup on the backup.
Put it in the cloud.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm talking about if you came to my house, you'd be like, I got a safe. Word. So if the house catch fire, well, the hard drive survived. Yeah, right. I got the drives. We can start back over with the music at least. Right. I can re-release or reproduce. You know, so that's this new label thing is what I'm excited about. Like I'm so excited about this, man. So I've really been at home, like in front of the drum machine. Like there's nothing like. For me, there's nothing else better to do than production right now for me. Like, when people be saying stuff like, this is how I'm able to turn the parties down. Like, we got XYZ for 4 hours. I was like, well, you know how many records I can make in 4 hours? Yeah. And times, if I only get 100 downloads, or say 200, say I get 200 downloads for one record. Mm-hmm. And you go, that's $200. And it took me a matter of 30 minutes to an hour to make that record. Versus you telling me you're going to give me $250 or $300 and have me in there for 6 hours. You know how many records I can make in 6 hours, man?
Yeah.
I'd rather be home in front of my drum machine.
Word.
You can keep that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be at home. Because the way you can upload music now, I can make the beats. When I'm finished with the beats, upload it and have it live in a week.
Yeah.
Or a couple of days.
Yeah.
So coming to your party, taking a chance to get shot and killed and never being able to make music again, just don't sit right with me, bro.
Word.
So, nah, I'm going to stay home. But I do hold on to that bread, though, because I do have some other DJs that might. I tell them that all the time. Hey, let's not fall out about this, though,
right.
because I do have some DJs that might take that, and I don't knock them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everybody ain't me. Everybody ain't pricey like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but ain't no sense in me letting you keep that money. You don't need to keep that money.
Yeah.
You need a DJ. That's your budget. All right, let's find somebody within your budget. I don't need to let you keep that bread. I'm gonna let one of the homies eat.
Right.
You know, so
get the people your social media, man.
It's at DJ Sluggo Music everywhere. And then if you can't find me on social media, then just go to DJSluggomusic.com and just click on all of the links, and all of it is there. And then I'm just officially verified on Instagram now. So I got the trio now. I got
Official
Twitter.
tissue.
Yeah, I got the Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram now. So, you know, I'm trying to do things.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for coming through,
Man,
bro.
anytime for you, brother.
To get you out the house is
Man,
mean a lot.
anytime for you. I literally was like, woo, I'm glad he texted me, because I ain't gonna, you know, my memory is not, I be doing so many things.
Yeah.
And you text me, I was like, ooh, I can't flake on him. You know, so I instantly was like, ooh, let me get dressed, let me throw something on and get on into the city, man. Because I'm looking like, I'm dreading, like, oh my God, I gotta ride to the city. But it was like, man, that's MH Tutter, man. You don't show up, man. Yeah, you don't mess your whole relationship
Not
up.
at all.
You know what I'm saying?
We always be good,
Yeah, but
bro.
I anything for you, bro.
I appreciate
literally anything for you, bro. Like you a good dude. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It ain't many people I say, like, you know, you see how me and Miller,
Right.
Brittany. When I got a relationship with you, man, like I'm telling you, I'm with you. And when I'm against you, I'm just against you. I really just won't kick it with you. I just be there. And we'll tell you, like, I don't really rock with you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people got to be a little bit more truthful about. Like,
And I don't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off. That's one thing that I can always say. Another thing I appreciate is you always been 100.
oh yeah,
If you could do it, you could do it. If
Yeah.
you can't, if you can't. And,
I tell you
look,
quick.
I've been there to say, I don't mess with you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Your energy off. I'm
Yeah,
good. Like,
man,
you, but
because it's just like, don't phony kick it with people, man.
Yeah.
Because at some point, the truth gonna come out.
Mhm.
He's gonna do something, and then you gonna fly off the deep end. He ain't gonna know why you flying off the deep end, and the whole time it was because you don't really like him.
Yeah.
And you don't deal with him. So I'm not even gonna give you the opportunity to do nothing. Cause if I don't like you and if I don't trust you, I don't
can't be
even
around
want.
you.
Man,
Yeah.
I tell my guys that all the time, man. Why is you saying you don't trust dude, but dude is like in your space? Do you understand the type of things that can happen to you, or they can do? Because people feel your energy.
For sure.
I can feel when you don't like me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, you know what? MH Tilden was talking about knocking him upside the head, and they probably finna come around the corner. Let me make sure he's standing there so they can hit him. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, come on, let's walk to the car. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I know they out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But versus saying, hey, you know, I saw MH Tilden standing outside. I think they got a problem with you.
you might want to leave.
Yeah, I think you might want to take the back door.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, or let me pull around the back and you just jump in my car.
Right.
And we take off. You know, I ain't gonna let them do that to you. So that's the difference. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I just don't want negative energy and negative people around me, man. It's just, I'm listen. One thing I will say, I know for a fact, and nobody else can tell me different. I know it's something. I don't know if it's a God or whatever you want to call it, whatever everybody want to call it. There's something that's of a higher power than me that's making sure I'm okay.
100%.
Because I done been through it all, bro. Shot, stabbed, locked up, prison, all that. And to be able to, 30 years later, to still be, I ain't gonna say relevant, to still be able to do what I love and get paid to do what, that's a difference. Like,
Yeah.
to get paid to do what you love, like, I
Man.
would DJ for free.
For sure.
Like I love it so much, it'd be like, just pay all my bills. If you knock all my bills out the way, I'm gone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with you. But due to the fact I got bills, I got to charge you. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. Like, I love dance music, bro. Like,
Word.
hip hop is cool and all the other music cool, but dance music, man, it's a different type of vibe, bro. It just do things to you that it's not normal. Like, it's not them beats. Like, I be transed out in my head, like, as if and I don't drink, smoke, do drugs, anything. Music is my high. When I'm at them parties and I'm doing them raves, man, you'll think I'm high because I be gone. Like, people like, man, he look like he out for dope or something. Like, but I gotta feel it. I be just going. Like, sometimes I'll DJ for 10, 20 minutes into my set and never look up. Cause I just be so I be feeling it. And then I hear some cheers or something, yes.
Right.
Yes. We here, we there. You know what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
Yeah, people don't understand that. Yeah, but follow me at DJ Sluggo Music everywhere, man, and DJSluggomusic.com, man, and stream me, man. Stream my music, man. I got about 400-500 songs online, man. What's wrong?
Facts. I always
stream me
on Tidal.
Yeah, stream it. And the crazy, somebody Thaz, I don't know if you know DJ Thaz. He just called me yesterday, and he's one of my close buddies too. He's like, man, that's it, man. Like, I think I might switch labels too, man. It's a thing on Serato called Beat Source.
Yep.
He said, man, I typed in my name on Beat Source, nothing. 2 or 3 of the other DJs, nothing. A couple of other producers, nothing. Dude, I typed your name in. You got records on Beat Source. I was like, well, first off, I don't know what the hell Beat Source is, right? I promise you. I said, I don't know what the Beat Source is, Thaz, and what's the big thing about it? He was like, oh, see, you, because I'm one of those people when I like with Serato, if I do it a certain way, you can't really persuade me to do something differently. Like, I'm stuck in my ways.
That's me.
So he was like, yeah, Fast always talking about use Tidal, and I'd rather have the record. And then
I'd rather have the record.
Yeah, then he was like, Beat Source is right up under Tidal, and I'm like, oh, on Serato. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now, he excited about it. I wasn't excited about it because I'm saying, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I went and looked and was like, oh, that's cool. But it came from the label. Like, right. He was tweaking. Like, he was like, man, Slug, that's why I love you, and I'm so proud of you, man. Like, for sure. You places other people ain't at. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. Cool. I'm like, I'm there. And he was like, I'm switching labels. We need to sit down and talk. I'm looking like, you just gonna leave your label on the strength of that? They ain't even did nothing to you. And he was like, no, man, they ain't got me on Beat Source.
Right.
He was like, I'm gonna reach out to them. If they can't get me on Beat Source, I'm leaving. I was like, all right, I'll introduce you to the man. Like, if Beat Sources wouldn't make you pack it all, because he got a lot of records out. I was like, if you want to pack it all up over one little thing, like, okay. But I understand what he's saying. Like, it's certain places, and when it comes to music, you just want to be there. Like, you want to, I used to always, like, want my music on iTunes, and once I got there, it was like, it's really
okay, what's next?
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I did iTunes, so, but the guy, the new label, they was like, yeah, we finna put this music everywhere, bro. You can get ready. I'm like, all right. He was like, it's a lot of places right now that your catalog ain't at. And I was like, yeah, that's unfortunate. He was like, yeah. He was that's because you with the wrong people. And he was like, you gotta make sure you got the right circle, bro. You don't got the right circle. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in it now.
My circle, right?
Yeah, like 30 years later, you know what I mean? It's like, but at the end of the day, my uncle, may rest in peace, he's always say, man, all you do is keep living. It's gonna happen,
man.
Keep living. It's gonna happen, man. So I'm just trying to live through it, live through until it come. I was trying to win that 1.3 billion, but
they would have never saw me again. Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Oh man,
if I'd have won it, y'all would never saw me again.
Nobody would have knew it was me.
Facts.
Yeah, they'd have been like, hey, man, that man had just been out the face of the earth. I think somebody kidnapped him. That's when you see that man 3 years. Like, I ain't heard from him. Like, I ain't heard his name or nothing. Yeah, I would have disappeared, bro.
You wouldn't know nothing.
I'd have bought me an island and been like, that's it. I'm good.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here. And I don't want nobody to visit me. The plane thing is way back there so I can see you coming.
Right.
Yeah. You only can get to me by plane, or a boat.
Right. DJ Sluggo, DJ MH to the East Side Certified, man. We appreciate y'all. We out.
the beat, I ride the beat, and I ride it well. I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride the beat, and I ride it well. I ride the beat, I ride the beat, I ride